First, you knock on the door. Wait till you hear the patient say, "Come in."
Come in.
Good morning, Mrs. Smith. My name is Marcella. I'll be your CNA for today. I came to give you a partial bed bath. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
I'm going to go wash my hand and gather my supplies. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Then you're going to go to your curtain, close the curtain for privacy. After closing curtain, wash your hands. You're going to go and grab your supplies. Your supplies will be a barrier. Keep it away from your uniform. You're going to place it down on the table. So, Miss, how's your day going?
Good.
It's good, Mrs. Smith. Once you place that down for partial bed bath, you're going to need 2 towels, a bed blanket, you're going to need 2 washcloths, a hand towel, and 2 more washcloths. You're going to take it, flip it over, place it down. Mrs. Smith, what color gown would you like? I have a blue gown and blue and white gown.
That's fine.
Make sure you ask her what she prefers a gown. You're going to grab your lotion, your soap, place it on the table. You want to grab your basin. Do not put water in it yet. Once you do that, first thing first is removing her gown. All right, Mrs. Smith, permission to expose? Always ask permission to expose before touching Miss Smith. Count to Miss Smith, I'm going to lift your head up. 1, 2, 3. Untie her gown. All right, Mrs. Smith, permission to expose. I'm bringing down your gown. You want to bring down her gown. All right, you want to walk on the other side. Permission to expose, Mrs. Smith?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take this side down. Try to keep Mrs. Smith covered. And always do everything underneath the blanket. Once you bring it down, you're going to roll it towards you. Take this off. Dirty hamper. Alright, Mrs. Smith, I'm going to line your pillow up. You want to grab your first towel, line her pillow. You're going to lay this down. And you're going to open it up. Okay. Once you get it like that, you want to open one side. Alright, Mrs. Smith, on the count of 3, I'm going to hold your head up. 1, 2, 3. You want to lean it over. Come around. Fix the head of her pillow. Alright. Grab your next towel. Alright, Mrs. Smith, permission to expose?
Yes.
You're going to expose her arm area. Once you expose that, you're going to place the next towel down. Once placing it, you want to open it up. Alright, Mrs. Smith, I'm going to lift your arm a little bit. And you want to roll that. There you go. Okay, you're going to cover Miss Smith back up. You're going to grab your blanket. Keep it away from your uniform. You're going to place this down on top of Mrs. Smith. You're going to open it up. Okay, Mrs. Smith, I'm going to get you all covered up. Okay, Mrs. Smith?
Okay.
You want to make sure the folded side is to the top. Try not to reach over Mrs. Smith too much. Alright, you're going to come on the other side and straighten her blanket out. Okay, Mrs. Smith. I'm going to grab my water and I'll be right back with you, Mrs. Smith. Grab my bucket. I'm going to go to the sink. Grab a barrier, cut the water on, check the temperature. Good. Fill it up. Barrier off water. Come back. Evaluator. Mrs. Smith. Once I do that, I'm going to grab my first washcloth. No soap. Do the burrito. Wring it. Dry it out. Going to come to Mrs. Smith's face. Okay. You're going to go across her eyelid. Try not to go across her face. Cross her eyelid. You're going to do your number 3 from her forehead to her cheek to her chin. Other side. Forehead, cheek, chin. Flip over. Go across Mrs. Smith's mouth. You're going to come. Flip this rag over. Dip it in the water. Wring it out. You're going to burrito. You're going to do it once again. Cross the eyelid. Cross her eyelid. Do your number 3. And your number 3. Cross her mouth. This is going to go in a dirty hamper. You're going to pat dry Mrs. Smith's face. There you go, Mrs. Smith. You either want to pat dry from the back or walk around to the other side. All right, Mrs. Smith. Permission to expose, Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
I'm going to expose because now I'm going to do her torso. You want to bring it down to her belly button. You're going to get your rag. Wet it. No burrito for this. Apply a pump of soap. Come to Mrs. Smith. You want to start from up. Come down. Going up in between. Down the other side. Cross the middle. You want to bring your hand up and go down. Okay? Now you're going to flip over your rag. Wet it. Wring it out. And you're going to come back and do that step once again. You're going to come down, up the middle, down the other side, cross the stomach, and lift up and go down. You're going to throw this in a dirty hamper. Your hand towel. This is what your hand towel is for. So now you're going to pat dry in that same motion. Make sure you pat dry, lift up, pat dry down. This is going to go in a dirty hamper. You're going to cover Miss Smith back up. Permission to expose Mrs. Smith?
Yes, yes.
Now we're going to move to the arm. You're going to grab your rag, wet it, apply some soap, do your ring, and now we're doing her hand. So when you're doing her hand, you want to come down her arm, in between her fingers, her palm, up to her armpit. Armpit is last. Now we're going to do this once again. Wet it, flip it over. No soap. Come back. Now we're rinsing her arm. We're going down in between her fingers. Her palm, armpit last. This is going to go in a dirty hamper. Once I'm patting dry with the inside of the towel. You want to pat dry Mrs. Smith's fingers, and then you're going to cover Miss Smith back up. Now, Mrs. Smith, I'm going to turn you on your back, so I'm going to go around on the other side. Mrs. Smith, I'm going to slide you toward your right on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Slide Mrs. Smith toward her right. You always want to turn Mrs. Smith away from the towel. All right, Mrs. Smith, permission to expose?
Yes.
Ask permission to expose. You want to hold her shoulder. Make sure you have her hand. And on the count of 3, Mrs. Smith, we're going to come toward me. 1, 2, 3.